To the Middle East, and the UN peacekeeping force in Lebanon has described large numbers of Israeli soldiers crossing the blue demarcation line into Lebanon as shocking violations, saying it's happened repeatedly early this morning. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has reiterated his country's warning to the United Nations that UN peacekeepers should be removed from the country. Let's have a listen into what he had to say.
I'd like
to appeal directly to the UN Secretary-General. It is time for you to remove UNIFIL from Hezbollah's strongholds and from the fighting areas. The IDF has repeatedly asked for this and has been met with repeated refusals, all aimed at providing a human shield to Hezbollah terrorists. The refusal to evacuate the UNIFIL soldiers makes them hostages of Hezbollah. This endangers both them and the lives of our soldiers.
Mr. Secretary-General, get the UNIFIL forces out of harm's way. It should be done right now, immediately.
OK, let's bring in our international affairs editor, Dominic Waghorn. He joins me live now from Tel Aviv. And Dominic, this is at least the fourth such incident between Israeli forces and UN peacekeepers in Lebanon. This time, a breach of the demarcation line and twice being targeted.
Yes, so this, as you say, on Thursday we had a direct tank round landing in or being fired into a watchtower in Nakura. That's the UNIFIL, the UN peacekeeping forces base on sort of the coastal end of things in southern Lebanon. 2 Indonesian peacekeeping soldiers fell out of the watchtower and were injured. The next day there was another attack, another incident that left 2 Sri Lankan soldiers injured, and then we've had a couple of other incidents, one to do with smoke rounds being fired that have left peacekeepers gasping and being treated for respiratory and gastrointestinal ailments, and then also this incident where, as you say, it seems that an Israeli Merkava tank, or a couple of tanks at least, smashed its way into another UN compound. Now, obviously, this is Israel being defiant in the face of fierce diplomatic reprimands from the French, the Italians, and others, and the Americans urging the Israelis not to attack UN positions. And UNIFIL's position is pretty clear on this. They say that they believe they have been deliberately and directly targeted by the Israelis. And then we now have the Israeli Prime Minister saying that UNIFIL must leave the area for their safety. Israel's position on this is that Hezbollah is using UNIFIL bases as human shields, as somewhere from which to hide and then to attack Israeli troops. And UNIFIL's position is that they are there, mandated by the UN Security Council, and they can't withdraw until the UN Security Council changes their mandate, and there's no sign of that happening at the moment. But clearly the Israelis believe that they are in their way, and there isn't much sympathy for the UN here in Israel. Many Israelis are rather antipathetic to the UN, and as far as they're concerned, UNIFIL is meant to have kept the peace in southern Lebanon. It's meant to have kept armed forces out of that area, and it has singly failed to do so because it's become such a Hezbollah stronghold. So there's a real bone of contention there between the Israelis and the international community, and to some extent with the Americans, but also the Americans on the same day as censoring the Israelis have also offered them, it seems, unprecedented military support with the promise of more anti-ballistic missile batteries, for the first time involving American soldiers on the ground, potentially in Israel, against the possibility of the Iranians striking back, or whatever the Israelis have planned to strike Iran in the coming days in retaliation for that ballistic missile attack we saw at the beginning of the month.
Dominic, live from Tel Aviv, thank you.